Hello, fellow YouTubers, this is Yuto Moses here for my picks of the week from February 6th to the 12th. Now, I just want to refresh your memories that this isn't a video about all the movies that I bought, those are for my DVD and Blu-ray updates. This is just the video for all the movies that I've watched for the week and some of my commentary and trivia stuff on it. So that I've straightened that out, let's begin. First one I've watched for Sunday is Rushmore, the Wes Anderson film. Now, at first, I didn't like this, but after watching Bottle Rocket and then Rushmore again, I just fell in love with it. And yet, it's still hard to believe that Max Fisher, played by Jason Schwartzman, is able to lead a high school to doing these parades and controversial plays, and he still gets piss poor grades. Even in a high school. In a public high school, I mean. And there's a scene where he cuts off someone's brakes out of the sake of revenge, and he still manages to get out on bail. And if anyone else did that in real life, then he would probably end up in prison with no bail for a couple years. Just pointing that out. For Monday, I've watched Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Now, whenever I think of the actor Hugo Weaving, I think of all the badass characters he made, like Mr. Smith from the Matrix series, or V from V for Vendetta, and I even think of the time when he played a homosexual drag queen in Priscilla. And even in a movie like this, he hits the character right on the mark. But none of my friends that I know would go and watch a drag queen dance or even get a sex change. Now there's like this really funny scene at the end, and at the very end, after the credits, where a kite with a naked woman on it would fly into China into an ancient temple garden. That's something that you really need to stay tuned for. For Wednesday, I've watched Sunshine. Now, with all these movies directed by Danny Boyle, they're always so very weird. Like, they always have a political message while it's being graphic and has a far-out twist to it. And Sunshine is no exception. And I think the message to this is to try and take care of our atmosphere of Earth, because eventually our Earth will die, but the story to this takes place in 2057, I believe, so that's still a long time from now. Now, I didn't know that Mark Strong played the bad guy in this, who was Pinbacker, the bent-up astronaut who his whole crew died from, and yet he's able to manage to live in the abandoned shuttle that he was living off of. And that's a pretty far out stretch for it. And I know he's a very good bad guy to me, but now that I know that he was in this, now whenever I think about him, I would always feel that he would come up from behind me out of nowhere and just say the word Fondo, and then I would just freak out and then just fall over myself. I mean, that's how scary he was in Sunshine, and we never barely see his face anytime soon. Wednesday, I watched The Fifth Element. Now, in the future, there's giant hovership restaurants that comes to your place and you can order from there. Like when Corbin Dallas orders Chinese takeout, there's like this giant hovership that comes in front of his window where he can order and eat from there. Now that's awesome. And every time I've watched this, I always wondered what that anteater thing was in Zorg's office. Like, you'll know when you see it. For Thursday, I've watched Nick and Nora's Infant Playlist. Now, don't ever own a crappy little yellow car, because drunk people will mistake it for a taxi cab. And this is the first movie that I've watched with Kat Dennings in it. And she's a weird looking girl. Like, she has like big lips, and I don't mean like the Angelina Jolie kind of lips. Like the kind that looks as if they're big because she might have got an allergic reaction or was stung by a bee or something. Like, I just wanted to point that out. For Friday, I've watched The Secret of NIMH. Now, this is a really good animated movie to watch, and this is from the 80s. Anyways, there's like these little mouses that have like strips of clothing on, and it made me wonder if there's like any type of shirt or sweater that you can put on guinea pigs or rats. Like, I know that old people would knit them for cats and dogs to wear so they won't get cold, but it would be really neat if they had some for rodents as well. Anyways, it tells about how these rats were caught in a lab called NIMH and were injected with steroids, and they became intelligent and more capable of things. And so they were able to make a rose bush into the city of Atlantis inside it. Now, that's pretty far-fetched, but the best excuse is that they've been injected with steroids. They don't really explain much, other than just stealing shit from people. Last one, for Saturday, I've watched 21 Grams. Now, pretty much, I love Benicio del Toro as an actor. It seems that he never pissed me off in any movie he's in, and if there is a movie that pissed me off, but it isn't because of him, but it's because of the other actors. And he plays this convict that got in trouble for running over a couple people, and he tries to find a way to cover it up. And he's also a Christian, so I guess his best defense that he could have used was like, he could have told them that Lord Baby Jesus told me to kill. Like, that would have been hilarious if he said that once in the movie. Now, this would be really hard to watch the first time because it's not in a chronological order. It's more confusing to get into than Memento because there's like scenes scattered all over the place that takes place at different timelines that you really have to connect. Like, they only set up the scenes so that they would build up to a better climax. Like, it jumps from one scene to another, from one place to another, and it really doesn't make sense to you if you watch it at first, but the second time, you'll get it. So, that's my picks of the week. Thank you for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back for next week with it. Maybe. So, this is Yuto Moses, signing out.